So on this IBM PS1, which is currently under development, I have running a version of DOS 6.22, and I've already installed a bunch of applications, like there's Windows 3.11 and a ton of games running on this thing, as well as a bunch of benchmarking tools. I've installed this on this compact flash card here, 512 megabyte compact flash card that's hooked up to the machine's IDE bus. While it was kind of fun using floppy disks to install that whole system, I've also used the convenience of simply being able to plug in that card into another computer and then copying things straight onto it, because it appears as a FAT formatted external drive on those machines. But do I want to repeat that for every single machine that I want to install this or a similar system on? Do I want to do that on my IBM AT? Do I want that to do on this test set? Do I want to do that on that Amstrad PC? Do I want to do that on... Oh, never mind. No, I don't. And while I could theoretically use that same compact flash card and install that in the various different systems as I'm working on them or playing with them, that would mean that this has to be accessible all the time. So with an internal adapter like this that simply replaces the internal drive, I can't do that. I would have to install one of those bracket versions that goes in here and makes it accessible from the back, or I could cut a hole somewhere to make this thing accessible through some custom contraption, like a 3D printed maybe bezel for this piece here. But then that would destroy the original look and feel of it. So what are my requirements? I do want every one of those machines to have its own storage thing that I don't have to like take in and out every single time that I'm using it. They all have similar kind of base requirements in terms of operating system, etc., so I can reuse the same content, but I want them to be separate so I can modify as needed. I do not want to take up a bracket in the back through one of these, because then I lose an riser slot. And I want a backup that I can easily use to restore should I mess something up, and I do mess things up, without having to go through like tens of floppy drives to get to a new base installation of operating system and tools again. So I'm going to walk you through a quick process to show you how I'm taking like just one of these, the content of one of these cards, and use that as a source to deploy to all of the other machines in a very quick and easy process. Alright, so we're here on my Mac, and I have my compact flash card here. That's the one with DOS, Windows, tooling, benchmarking tools, etc., and games, most importantly. And I have a similarly sized, well, same size compact flash card here as well, that I want to transfer this over, because I want to use this in a different machine, but I don't want to go through the process. And I don't want to go through the process of having to go through all of the floppy-based installations again. So I have this little contraption here that I use to read compact flash cards, and because it's, of course, lack of USB-A style connectors, I have to use this converter here. So let's plug that in and see what this comes up with. So it just plugged it in. As you can see here, the disk you attached was not readable by this computer. Eject, ignore, initialize. For the process that I'm going to show you, you don't need to do anything to this card here. So for the moment, we'll just ignore this. The card will come back once we're done with step number 1. Okay, so I'm now going to plug in my source compact flash card. Yeah, so I did get mounted properly, MS-DOS_6, that's the label I gave it last time. I could open this and explore the files, or copy additional files onto it, which is a very convenient way to manage the content of these hard drives. Anyway, that's not what we want to do. What I'm trying to show you is how to easily duplicate this if you happen to have a Mac. If you have a Windows thing, this probably will not work for you. You might have to use different tooling. Maybe I'll do another video about that at some point in the future. If you would like to see that, let me know in the comments below. All right, so as you can see, we have the command line open here. So either open terminal, or I like to use iterm, which is my favorite terminal program here. So what we'll do is we'll use a command line version of DiskUtility, and let me get you a little bit closer. And I'm sorry, I still don't have screen capture going on properly. Oops, wrong keyboard. There we go. DiskUtil, and I think yes, the command is list. And what we want to see is this thing here. So this is what contains MS-DOS 6, the container, and it is called, it's in disk 4. So under devices, it is disk 4. So what we are going to do is we are going to use a command called dd, which is often called disk destroyer, but so you can see here, I think data duplicator, or whatever dd stands for. You don't need to know all of that. It's pretty simple the way this works. And what we will do is we will do sudo. You need to run this as a super user, and then dd. And it has two flags, and you have to be careful not to get them wrong, otherwise you will destroy your main data. And Unix and Unix-derived systems are ruthless about it, because you're running it as an administrator and as root super user. Once you give it the OK, it will do whatever you tell it to do, and that could include destroying your main drive. So be careful. Okay, so the input file, or IF, is def disk4 in my case, which is the device that the compact flash card is represented as. And then the output file is, let's call this MS-DOS 622.img. The one thing I forgot to mention is, if you are creating an image from the compact flash card, unmount it from here first. Also, when you're writing back from the image file to a compact flash card, also needs to be unmounted. Use DiskUtility or a command line unmount command if needed. So let's see if that works. Probably getting an error. Seems to be doing its job. So what this will do is it will read the content of the compact flash card, and it's doing a raw copy. So the entire structure, everything. So why is this important? This thing here has some unspecified format that the Mac and also the machine later will not understand. Part of this process, or why this is so easy, is oh, there we go, it's done already. You will not have to format this. You will not have to use fdisk to first create a partition and then format it and then copy all the data on it. No, you just have essentially a raw clone of that compact flash card from the source, which we've just put in here, onto here, and it replicates everything, including the file system and the partition map. Okay, so you can see here that it's done. And I'll show you MS-DOS. Right, so this is the file that it has created. And now we are trying to put this back on here. So let me eject the source compact flash card. Let's see, eject. We'll wait until this is done. Okay, there we go. So I'm now pulling this out. I'm putting the target back in, and I'm gonna stick it back in the Mac. And we'll probably get that. Yeah, so here it was not readable by this computer, so we will not eject it, simply ignore it. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll repeat the lists process, because we want to figure out under what device is this compact flash card mounted now. DiskUtil list. And it'll be another 500. There we go. This is it. So there's various ways that you can identify it, right? So definitely make sure that it has roughly the size that you expect it to be. This is a 512 megabyte compact flash drive, so this is the right size here, right? It has no name, it has no type. So this is what we want to write the image back to. Definitely make sure that whatever you're using next for the output of, or where you're writing that image file to, is none of your system stuff here. Because once you give it the go, it will corrupt and destroy your data. That's why DD is called the data destroyer. So what we will do next is write that image file back. So again, we'll use DD as a super user or root. Now the input file is that image file, ms-dos622.img that we've just created, and / simply means from the current location. That's just the convention here. The output file is dev disk4 again. So this one here, the one that represents that empty compact flash card. Let's get this going. I don't know how long this is going to take, because writes can be a little bit slow, but I'll see you back when this is complete. Now, one other thing that you can do is to also write that image back to compact flash drives that are larger than 512 megabyte. I have one here that is, I think, 2 gigabytes, and as you can see here, I've just written that same image back to it. It only has the 512 megabyte DOS partition here, with 1.5 gigabytes still free. So you might be able to actually use this and under fdisk create extended DOS partitions if you don't want to waste that space. But that's also a possibility that these are harder to find and they're becoming expensive, and you don't only have larger ones. And so not to worry, you can write these onto larger compact flash cards. You can even write them to SD cards if you wanted to. You can write them to maybe an SSD that you're sticking into an IDE converter. So lots of possibilities with these images that you create from your source. Heck, you could probably even write this back onto a spinning real hard drive if you wanted to. And here, just to show you that we can also just work with the copy we've just created. So this was the original one that I'm keeping that here for now, but I'm just sticking that copy in here. Oops, wrong way, of course. And we'll turn on the machine to hopefully see this boot into MS-DOS. After it probably complains about a bunch of errors. Oh, yes. And boot, come on, do it. Uh-oh, that is unexpected. Alrighty, so it does work, the cloning process. And I'm currently booted into my test rig here with a clone of the original compact flash card. This is a 2 GB one that I made using the same cloning process with DD. And I'm also booted into my PS1 using, and although it looks identical, it is not. It is a clone of the original one. Same size, 512 megabytes on here, and boots up nicely. I don't know if it's the combination of machine. This one doesn't use the XT IDE, but just a straight compact flash IDE adapter, or whether that other 512 megabyte compact flash thing was just buggered. Okay, so I did find another one of these random compact flash cards and cloned it from the original one using the process that I showed you, and it does in fact work now on this one. So it does have the content of the original card on it. It can boot from it, so there was probably something wonky with that other card. So I guess this is true for a lot of retro computing projects. If at first you don't succeed, just try again. Try a different variation. Persist. These things are fickle. In this case, probably the card, maybe the combination of controller and card, I don't know. But in the grand scheme of things, at least now I know that this does work properly, so I can recommend this as a good option for you to follow if you wish. So hopefully you found this little exercise useful. Happy cloning of your retro machine images. And by the way, this works just as well for SCSI to SD images on SD cards and other storage formats. So you can clone across storage implementations. So for instance, SD card to compact flash and vice versa. So yeah, thank you for watching, and again, happy cloning. Ba ba da ba da ba da ba ba.